So we've all heard of Parrot OS as well as Kali OS for cybersecurity. Well, let me show you guys another Linux distribution for penetration testers that's based on Ubuntu. What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and I know I recently just did a video on a Linux distribution that was built for penetration testing as well as security training that's based on Ubuntu. Well, I wanted to show you guys another one, and this one is super cool as well. It's basically BlackBuntu. And I was just playing around looking at different distributions, and I ran across this distro not knowing anything about it. And like I've said, I've looked at Kali Linux on the channel, Parrot OS, and I know for sure Kali Linux is based on Debian, which Ubuntu is based on Debian. But BlackBuntu is based on Ubuntu. It follows the same release schedule, but it's a super dope, distro. And I think it's great for people that are just coming over from Linux, because Ubuntu has like one of the best, user-friendly desktop environments for new people just getting started with Linux. And BlackBuntu looks pretty much the same. It's 100% the same, but it includes all the security training and penetration testing tools that are available to you. So let's go down and hop over to the website and check it out. Before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ, the official partner of Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is a Linux distribution that is intended to be a downstream complete binary compatible release using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system source code. The project is led by Gregory Kurtzer, who was the founder of the CentOS project. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. Okay, so we're at blackbuntu.org. And of course, I always have the link down in the description of the video. But this is a awesome distro, based on everything I've seen. Now, I'm new to this one, but essentially it looks just like Ubuntu. I've used Ubuntu, I've installed Ubuntu, plenty of times on this channel, and this distro is pretty much the same as Ubuntu, the base, Ubuntu. And if we read right here on the main page, it says ultimate penetration testing distro, security awareness, designed to be fast, and let's go back there. But designed to be fast and easy to use and provide a minimal, complete desktop cybersecurity and developer-friendly environment. So let's hit learn more and go down to it. But right here it says BlackBuntu is born from the passion and spirit of two specialists. So that's dope. It says, let's cut to the BS. This distribution is a GNU Linux distribution based on Ubuntu and designed with Pentest, security, and development in mind for the best experience. And that's one of the most important words they said right there, best experience, because we all know Ubuntu is the most used Linux distribution. So it makes sense to have a distro out there that's, designed for cybersecurity professionals that uses that same desktop environment. So you're good to go. But it says with advanced accessibility tools and options to change language, color scheme, and text size, BlackBuntu makes computing easy whoever and wherever you are. And it says friendly, modern, and advanced OS. System is designed to be secure and flexible. BlackBuntu contains a vast array of tools and utilities, which is 100% true. It has pretty much all the same tools you can get on Kali Linux and more. You know what I'm saying? Really, with all these Linux distributions, and this is something I used to say back in the day, Kali Linux, all it is a Debian based distribution with a whole bunch of cybersecurity tools, bundled into one distro. That's all it is. So you can take any Linux distribution out there and get all these tools working on that distro. Like I've even talked about how Ubuntu, you can easily make that a pen test or security based distribution by just installing all the tools on there. And essentially that's what this accomplishes. It accomplishes the same thing Kali Linux does and Parrot OS does. It's just put on Ubuntu. Now it says distribution optimized to reduce the amount of work. And if we scroll down, this is, you know, a screenshot of what it looks like once you open it up, and I'll show you guys all that when we install it. But yeah, safe test environment, super simple. And let's go down a little bit more. And one cool thing about it, just like all these projects that are, you know, similar to it, it's a free and open source community project. So community support, they have a GitHub page, so you can check that out. You can contribute to it if you need to, all that good stuff. Now the tools, like I said, pretty much the same tools you'll see on Kali Linux, Parrot OS, or any of the other cybersecurity distributions that are out there. By default, you'll see a lot of these same tools like Brute Spray, Burp Suites, Jack the Ripper, you know, Ncrack, Hydra, Hashcat. Pretty much all these tools are on all these different, you know, distributions that are out there, and they can be installed on any other, you know what I'm saying, but they have a tool list, so you can check that out for yourself. And then also, this is what I wanted to show you guys, the different versions. Like I said, it follows the release model of Ubuntu. So currently the basic out there is version 18.04. It's based on Ubuntu Bionic Beaver, which was the 18.04 long-term supported released, you know, version. And the stable version, they do have 20.04, which I totally missed, but that is the stable version. Now the latest version is 22.04, which I'll go on and get installed, and all these are long-term supported releases, so they stick to the long-term supported releases to create the ISOs for, or create the distribution. They stick to those because they are the most stable. And I know it says stable here, but 22.04 is stable as well. They're still doing updates to it, but it's still stable. It's basically a stable version, and they're focusing on 22.10 as well as 24.04, which will be coming out in the year 2024, you know, obviously. And so that will be the latest and greatest stable version once that releases. But right now the latest version is 22.04, and it, like I said, it follows that release model of Ubuntu. Like every 2 years they'll release a long-term supported version. Now who is behind it? Now you can check it out, but Neo Labs is there. They are the developer and maintainer of the BlackBuntu project. But it says BlackBuntu is actively developed and maintained by Neo Labs to meet its need and be able to provide its employees with a reliable, high performance, friendly, and modern Linux distribution, focusing on penetration testing, security research, computer forensics, and reverse engineering. And you can check out their blog. You can also learn more from that. Now let me go down and show you guys how to download it. You can download it from here. You can select whichever one you want, and it will download it directly, you know, from the link. So I already have 22.04 downloaded because that's the latest version, but you can, you know, obviously get these older versions if you want to. All you have to do is hit download now, and that's pretty much it. So let me go down and hop over to my virtual machine so we can get this thing installed. Okay, cool. Doesn't this look familiar? This is the exact installer on Ubuntu, and like I said, BlackBuntu, all it really did with the installer was change the names. As you can see, try BlackBuntu or install BlackBuntu. You can try BlackBuntu, you know. If you replace all that with Ubuntu, you know what I'm saying, that lets you know it's the exact same installer. You know what I'm saying? All I did was change the text, which is good, you know what I'm saying? Not saying anything bad about it, but that's, you know, awesome. So let's go down and go through the installer. All you have to do is, you know, select your language. So mine is English, and then hit install, you know, BlackBuntu. Go through, select your layout, keyboard layout. Now here you can update, you know, software. Now here it talks about two different types of installations, and if you've seen Ubuntu, you know, install, you probably know exactly. You can kind of skip ahead on this video, you know what I'm saying, because the install process, I'm only showing the install process for new people. that are just, you know, installing this for the first time. But if you installed this before, it's pretty much the same. It's nothing new, but you got two different options to install. You got the normal installation and the minimal installation. Normal installation comes with pretty much everything, you know, included: web browser, utilities, you know, office software, games. And with this BlackBuntu install, you want to go with the normal installation. You can try the minimal, but I recommend you do the normal installation. That way you can get all your tools that comes with it. I'm not sure if there are any of them are left out, but down here all I do is all I have is a web browser and basic utilities, and I'm sure it has the tools, some of the tools. I'm not sure if it excludes a lot of them, but we'll just go with the normal installation. That's the best one, best recommendation. Now other options, this will download updates while installing BlackBuntu. This saves time after installation, so yeah, that's cool. You're still gonna have to update. I'm not sure why they even put this here. A lot of times, you know, you select this, you still have to run a bunch of updates, maybe like 100 or so updates, you know, based on, you know, this, because it's all based on the ISO. You're installing everything based on the ISO, and this is supposed to do your updates on the applications that have been installed from the ISO. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times it really doesn't do it, you know what I'm saying? At least not for everything, and you still have to do some updates. But you can also install third-party software. I'll go down and select that, hit continue, boom, and then right here is setting up your drives. So just make sure you're writing this to the correct drive. You can run the erase disk and install BlackBuntu. If you only have one hard drive on the system, just make sure you have a backup of all your data, because it's going to erase everything, including the, you know, full operating system. So you want to go down and select that, and that'll erase everything. Now they have some other advanced features. Use LVM, as well as you can erase this and use ZFS if you want to use ZFS. You can also encrypt. We're going to hit cancel, boom. We don't need any of that. And then if you want to manually customize your partitions, then you can go into here and you can set everything up. Otherwise, Ubuntu is just going to partition your drive the way it sees fit. Now let's go down, hit install now, and we got two more steps I believe after this, and that's mainly setting up the location. There we go, it already picked up that I'm on the West Coast, so Pacific Standard Time, and then also our account. So let's go down and create an account, and then as well as the computer name. So I'm gonna name it BlackBuntu, and then let's just put 22 on the end of it, and then give us a password right fast for our account, boom. And you always want to select require my password on login. You never want to leave your system wide open by logging in automatically, because that means if anybody just turns on the computer, or let's say you install this on a laptop, it'll go right to your desktop environment, and they can get all your files, you know, at that point. Now this is a new option that came with the latest version of Ubuntu 22.04. I'm not sure if it was in a previous version, but they do have Active Directory you can connect to. So let's say continue. We're gonna ignore that, we don't need it, and this will go through the install. Now the install takes some time because that ISO, and let's go back over here to the website right fast, but the ISO for 22.04 is 6.9 gigabytes. That's how big the ISO is. Stable version, this one's 5.54, this is 20.04, and then also 18.04 is 4.51 gigabytes. So that's just so you guys know. But the requirements for the system are pretty much the same, and I should have explained this before we went through it, but they're pretty much the same across the board. It goes up on memory, so 4 is required for 18, and this follows Ubuntu's, you know, system requirements. So 4 on 18.04, that's the minimum, or 40 gigabyte free hard drive space. 80 for this one, 60 for this one. It kind of goes up on hard drive space on that too. But that's the size of the ISOs. Really, that's the main thing that, you know, makes the difference, how big the ISO is. It's super big, and so the install may take a little time, you know, depending on how fast your system is and all that stuff. So I'll be back when it completes, and we'll go through the desktop environment. And while this thing is going, I wanted to go down and get you guys to like the video. I definitely appreciate all of the people that support me You know, you guys have been supporting me for a very long time of me putting out this type of content, but it looks as though, you know, a lot of people watch the content, they get value from the content, but they don't want to like the video. And I just wanted to ask and see if you guys would like the video, so we can get better engagement on the channel, and that will help me grow and get this information out to more people, or as many people as possible. So definitely appreciate you guys, and let's get back to the video. Alright, cool. So as you can see, the installation is complete. It'll pop up with this little box. You just hit restart now, and I'll be back when it actually comes up. Alright, cool. So as you can see, just like Ubuntu, nothing different, you know what I'm saying? So let's go on and log into this guy, and I'll fix the resolution, and then I won't go through the full desktop, you know what I'm saying, because if you checked out my Ubuntu my Ubuntu 22.04 video, it's pretty much the same, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing really different. So alright, cool. So we got our desktop, you know, resolution set up right, but let's go down and just go and show you guys the tools. You know what I'm saying? We can go through the let's go through the favorites that they have up here, which is, you know, super cool. And with these types of distributions, all they basically do is put in apps, you know, that you may want to use, that you most likely want to install on the system. That's what that normal install is for. So we got Firefox on here, so I'm not gonna go through everything, but I'll just show you guys Firefox. But we got Tor, we got the Tor browser as well, so that's cool to actually see for, you know, cybersecurity distribution. So you can go right to Tor from here. So one thing I wanted to look at, and let me go down and close that, that's basically, like I was saying, when you select during the installation, you know, it says run all the updates, but it doesn't really run all the updates, you know what I'm saying? So that's what that pop-up was. But anyway, I just want to show you guys the version that it actually comes with. So it comes with 99.01, and I won't go through every application show you guys like that, but let's open up the terminal first, and let's see if we have NeoFetch on here, and if not, I'll go down and install it right fast. So sudo apt updates, and that'll refresh our repositories. And you guys know I like running things from the command line, so I'll run the updates after this. I just want to, you know, get NeoFetch on there right fast so you guys can see. So we refresh those repositories. Instead of doing those updates, I'm just going on and install NeoFetch, since I know it should be in the main repository. So we get that thing installed right fast, and I'll run NeoFetch as well. But it's super cool to see the Tor browser already installed on here. But let's see what Kate is, because I remember Kate, just don't remember exactly what it's for. Oh yeah, that's the it's a text editor. So and this one is super dope, you know, from what I remember. You got your tabs, you got a lot of good tools for, you know, working with text within Kate. So definitely a cool tool to have. But let's see, we should be close to being done with NeoFetch. Normally doesn't take too long. But let's go on and run NeoFetch once this finishes. Yeah, here we go. So NeoFetch, and let's tab that out, press enter, boom. As you can see, BlackBuntu 22.04. What we got on here? So it's using Bash for the shell, GNOME desktop, GNOME 42. So good to see. Window manager is Mutter. Window manager theme is Adwada, which I see Adwada everywhere, you know, for a lot of distributions. Theme is using that Eurodork, the Euro GTK23 terminal, GNOME terminal. So good to go. So this is GNOME desktop, so yeah, GNOME, it's gonna use GNOME. But let's go on and close that out. I just kind of wanted to mainly show you, oh yeah, and I forgot to highlight this, but the kernel is using 5.15, so good to go right there with that. Now this is one thing I'm excited to actually see. I always talk about, you know, keeping your passwords in some form of a password manager. So they have KeePass on here. I need to do an updated video on it, showing you guys how to use it again throughout the whole process of actually, you know, setting it up, you know, importing, you know, all your passwords and all that good stuff. Now Rhythm Box, you always see that on Ubuntu, it's always there. And then we have our normal software center, and I'm only opening this up so you guys know that you can install anything from the Ubuntu repository, because I'm sure that's what it's doing. It's using the same repository that Ubuntu uses. And like I said, it has some updates, so a whole bunch of updates, you know what I'm saying. And actually, let's run those guys in the background. Let's run sudo apt update again, and then I'll just put it all together. So sudo apt upgrade, and then -y, press enter, type in our sudo password, and I'll let these guys run in the background. So and I'll keep it to the side so we don't lose our bar. But that's cool. They got the auto hide turned on. That's why it disappeared. You know, when we have something close to it, it'll disappear. So super cool. You know what I'm saying? We got our help right here, and this is the typical Ubuntu help. So like I said, pretty much Ubuntu at the end of the day. You got your trash can right here. But let's go to the most important part of installing BlackBuntu, because if we just look at just the normal Ubuntu stuff, then you know, you might as well just get Ubuntu. If that's all you need, you know what I'm saying, you might as well get Ubuntu. But let's go through a couple of other tools that are on here. You got an archive manager, you got backups, you know what I'm saying, you can desktop disk usage analyzer, contacts calendar. I'm sure it has, well, it may or may not, I'm not sure. It should have evolution on here. But you got your LibreOffice tools, you got extensions on here. So your extension manager, that's something that you want, you know, especially if you got, you know, extensions on here, you know, installed on here. Let's go through, let's see, system updates, you know, all that good stuff is on here. Transmission, so that's good to see by default. And then Vim, image magic, tweaks, so you can go into your tweak tool. Synaptic package manager is here as well, so it's good to see as well. Now let's go back, since we're running all our updates, I just want to go back to the moment of truth, the things that we want to see. So it's broken up in their own little menu locations, kind of like on your phone. You know what I'm saying? That's the way no one works now. Under this main menu, you can create, you know, categories, and you can put different tools in there. So they have all these tools, you know, broken out for you. But as you can see, this are your cracking tools. So if you click under there, boom, that Hashcrack or crack, True Crack, John the Ripper, Brute Spray, you know, Crack, all your cracking tools are in one spot. And it's cool to see Off Crack. I haven't seen that in years, man. Off Crack, I used to use when I worked for a company as a systems administrator. We had some older computers, and we used Off Crack to, you know, get into some of those computers that were, you know, maybe set up by a previous network administrator or something with different passwords on them, in order to get them correctly on the new network that I created while I was working there. But yeah, so super cool. Cracking, then we got crypto. So there you go, all your wallets, Electron, atomic wallets, so pretty much any, you know, and everything dealing with crypto is here. You know, exploitation, and this is where your burp suite is going to be. Comics, Rotosploit, all your you know, exploitation programs are there. Now forensics, computer forensics. So now I've seen, I've used Mager, or however you say it, Dumpzilla. I've used that before as well, just playing around with it. And I need to, I don't know, do a little bit more videos or deep dives in a lot of these tools that I played around with, at least played around with, so I'm the ones that I'm familiar with, so I can show you guys how to actually use them. Now hardening stuff, I haven't played around with any of this. Let's see, information gathering, so this is cool. Maltego, so Maltego, Nikto, I never used that one. DNS walk, DNS recon, mass scan, Nmap, that's what I wanted to get to. I knew Nmap was in here. Trace route, who is, and all it does is open up a terminal for a lot of that stuff. ARP scans, you know what I'm saying, all that's in there. Now networking, here we go. So Netcat, Powersploit, Cryptcat, cool. Reverse engineering, so there's your tools for reverse engineering. Now I never played around with any of this stuff, so I can't tell you anything about that. But sniffing and spoofing, I know this, a little bit of this. Wireshark, know a little bit of Wireshark. I did a video on it a while back, just showing you guys how they set up, you know, Wireshark, but nothing more than that, because I'm not a cybersecurity professional. so I haven't had a need to fully learn these tools, like looking at packets and all that stuff. I'm still not great at, you know, analyzing packets and all that good stuff. So stress testing, here we go. So MDK3, let's see, HPing3, I've used that. DHCP IG, I never used this one. Terminator, like I said, I need to go through and play with some of this stuff. So utilities, subroot, web trace, let's see, vulnerabilities, and I'm only saying the ones I know or at least heard of or seen. SQL map, and then JSQL injection. So yeah. But yeah, check out these tools, these vulnerability analysis. Now let's see, web applications, WordPress scan. I use that just to play around with it, just see what it's about. I even use it against my own WordPress site, and so I own that server, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing against the law to scan my own server, you know what I'm saying? So that's one way to test out a lot of these tools. You set up your own environment, you know, you can have it on a closed network or something like that, and run some of these tools and play around with it. Now wireless, so I played around with this stuff, Pixie, WPS, let's see what else I know. And it's cool. Some of this stuff is not on some of the other ones by default. I know Aircrack NG is on there. Reaver is on there. Well, Reaver may not be on there unless they've added it recently, but before you had to go to the GitHub and get it. WPS Breaker. So yeah, that's the fun part of this distro. Just like Kali, you know what I'm saying? You got all your tools. It's just in this format that's familiar for people that use Ubuntu a lot, or they were introduced to Linux using Ubuntu and they want to get into cybersecurity or learning some of these tools, and they already know a little bit of Ubuntu. This is a good way to get started with cybersecurity if you want to play around with it. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a awesome distribution. Like I said, if you use Ubuntu, you can quickly pick this up because it's exactly like Ubuntu. The installer is pretty much the same. Everything is pretty much the same. You know, the only difference is the tools that are included with the distro. You know what I'm saying? It basically mimics like a Kali OS or a Parrot OS, you know what I'm saying, with just that Ubuntu platform that you may be familiar with. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And of course, keep it techie.